Hello, fellow farmers. Hello, fellow poultry farmers. Today's topic is something that is a topic that is involving money, and we are going to be talking about money wasters in poultry production and identifying and mitigating these costs. So, in poultry production, poultry production is a critical component of the global food industry, providing a significant source of protein for human consumption. So, just like any other business, poultry farming is not without its challenges, and one of the most pressing concerns for poultry producers is the efficient management of resources to ensure profitability. So, in this video, we will delve into some common money wasters in poultry production and explore some strategies to mitigate these costs. And diving straight into our number one point is inefficient feeding practices. One of the primary expenses in poultry production is feed. Inefficient feeding practices can significantly increase production costs. So, where do we get to waste our money in this category? Some of the things include overfeeding, underfeeding, and feed wastage. So, overfeeding leads to excess feed consumption and increased weight gain, which can result in higher feed costs and ultimately lower profits. On the other hand, underfeeding reduces growth rates and delays the time to market. So, what are some of the mitigation strategies that we can apply in these inefficient feeding practices? Implement precise feeding programs, use appropriate feeding equipment, and regularly monitor feed consumption to minimize waste. Consider automated feeding system and consult with a nutritionist to develop a balanced diet that optimizes growth while minimizing feed costs. Our second point on some of the factors that we get to waste money on is disease management in our poultry farming. Diseases or disease outbreaks are a significant risk in poultry production, leading to increased mortality rates, decreased production efficiency, and high vet expenses. Some of the places that we get to waste money in this category include when we do little inadequate biosecurity measures, improper vaccination, that is improper vaccination protocols, and delayed response to diseases outbreaks. How do we get to what is our mitigation strategy when it comes to disease management? We do this, invest in robust biosecurity measures to prevent diseases introduction and spread on your poultry farm. Again, implement a well-designed vaccination program in consultation with a vet and be prepared to respond promptly to any diseases outbreaks with proper quarantine and treatment protocols. Another point that leads to wasting money in the poultry business is poor housing and environment management. How do we lose money here? Inadequate housing and environmental conditions can lead to increased stress, reduced growth rates, and high mortality rates among poultry. In this category, money wasters include that leads to losing money include poor ventilation, overcrowding, and inadequate temperature control. So in this category, some of the mitigation strategy we can use when it comes to poor housing and environmental management is: number one, ensure that your poultry housing facility are well designed and properly maintained to provide optimal living condition for your birds. Second point is implement ventilation systems, control temperature and humidity, and avoid overcrowding to minimize stress and get to maximize production efficiency. Another point that leads to us losing money in the poultry business is inefficient labor management. Labor costs are a significant component of poultry production expenses. Money wasters in this category include overstaffing, underutilization of labor, and inadequate training, which can result in reduced productivity and increased labor expenses. When you don't train your staff, this is what we get. Inadequate training leads to reduced productivity and increased labor expenses. So our mitigation strategy when it comes to inefficient labor management is: streamline your labor management by optimizing staffing levels, providing comprehensive train your staff, organize training for your workers, and implement efficient working processes. Regularly again, evaluate and adjust your labor. Adjust your labor force based on production needs. Our next point, another way we get to lose money in our poultry business is when it comes to energy costs. Energy expenses in poultry production can be substantial. It can be very substantial, particularly for heating, cooling system. Money wasters in this category include inefficient energy use, poorly maintained equipment, and outdated technology. Some of the mitigation strategy that we can apply when it comes to issue of energy costs is invest in energy efficient equipment and practices. Conduct regular maintenance to ensure optimal performance, and also consider alternative energy sources such as solar or wind power to reduce energy costs over the long term. By concluding on, if we get to conclude these issues of money wasters in poultry production, identifying and mitigating money wasters is crucial for achieving and maintaining profitability. So by addressing issues such as inefficient feeding practices, disease management, poor housing and environmental conditions, inefficient labor management, and facing high energy costs, poultry farmers can optimize the operations. You can optimize your operations and increase your bottom line. So again, continuous improvement, regular monitoring, and staying up to date with the industry best practices is essential for minimizing some of these money wasters and ensuring a sustainable and poultry and profitable poultry farming business. Thank you, fellow farmers, for tuning in. Until next time, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you are notified when we upload new videos. Thank you for your time. Until next time, bye bye.